Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. In today's video, I've got a whole face of new makeup to try on for you. This is more high-end makeup because the Sephora sale is coming up in just a few weeks. I think I heard that it's going to happen on Halloween this year, October 31st. And I felt like while I've tested so much great drugstore makeup this year, I'm really a little bit behind on the higher end makeup testing. And with Sephora sale coming up, I do like to be able to have my recommendations and my ducks in a row for that. So I tried the new Natasha Denona High Glam foundation and concealer a couple of weeks ago. And after that video, a lot of people asked for the Makeup by Mario new foundation to be tested as well. So I've got a whole desk of new makeup to try on from the Mario foundation. I'm trying the Haus Labs concealer, trying a Dior lipstick, trying some new Rare Beauty blushes, a new Sephora setting powder, a new eyeshadow palette from Urban Decay. Also, I've got the new set of Nikki LaRose brushes to test out to apply it all with today. So we're gonna put all this to the test, see how it does in a full day wear test on more mature, less than perfect skin. If you enjoy a good makeup testing video where there's no filters used and you get to see everything up close and personal and in different lighting, then definitely give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also, if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment, that would be great. That really helps me with the algorithm, and links to everything will be in the description box below the video, color names and the products, and some will be here on the screen. So let's get started testing some new makeup. All right, first product I'm going to use actually can't be found at Sephora because it's from Essence. It's a real drugstore brand, but I always put on something to keep my lips hydrated while I'm doing the rest of my makeup. So I actually got this in PR. It's the Super Peptide Glossy Lip Treatment. It's called Toffee-tastic. Here we go. All right, so my skin prep today is that I used my Angie's Actives, my all-in vitamin C serum, followed by my Activate Loaded Lotion. Products are in stock in the shop. Check it out down below. And then on top of that, I put on my Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Airy Fit sunscreen. Love that sunscreen. Very nice and sheer and hydrating and gives a nice finish to the skin. Let's get started with the new Mario foundation. I got it in the shade 4.5 Neutral. I did order it online. I think I used the shade selector on Sephora. Oh, that's a big pump. Okay, doing one full pump, that gives you a lot of foundation there. I am going to apply this with my BK 115 brush. I love this little guy. And let's just take one swipe. That is very sheer. What kind of coverage am I expecting out of this? I think I'm expecting like medium coverage. I feel like I should stipple it on instead of dragging, because dragging does make your foundation come out sheerer. Yeah, this side kind of very sheer, no coverage. This side a little more coverage, doing the pressing and stamping technique. So that's what we will go ahead and do. And I feel like I'm going to use it all. I have only like half of it left here. So how does this look? It actually looks really nice. Blended nice and evenly. It looks pretty skin-like. It doesn't look like makeup. All right, so I pulled it up on Sephora. This comes in 32 shades, and it is supposed to be a natural finish foundation with weightless medium coverage that smooths and blurs for a second skin effect while providing all-day shine control for up to 16-hour hydration. So hydrating, blurring, natural, weightless, medium coverage. That's what I kind of want out of my foundation anyway. So yay, Mario, please deliver. All right, so there it is on. I actually think it looks really nice. I think the shade match is pretty good for me. I think it looks very skin-like. The coverage is a little bit lighter than medium, I would say. It's more of like a sheer to medium coverage, but I don't mind that. I think it looks really nice. Is it blurring? Yeah, I would say that it doesn't look super textury. All right, let's go in with one of the concealers, and I'm gonna go with the Haus, which I have used before, and I kind of like it, but I couldn't really test it because the doe foot applicator broke off inside the bottle. So I bought another one, and I did get it in a different shade this time. I got it in the shade 21 Light Medium, so we'll give that a go. I'm just gonna use a little bit there and there. And I'm going to use my A506 brush. I kind of wanted something that was a little more brightening. Well, that's a really nice shade. It's brightening. It's definitely covering up the discolorations under there. Oh, that looks really nice. Of course, I have this new setting powder to use on top of it. This is the Sephora Blur It Loose Setting Powder. So this is supposed to be blurring and brightening. It comes in shades. This is the pink one. It comes with a little one of these. Actually, you know what I want to break out? I want to break out Nikki's brush set. Hold the phone. You know, BK Beauty, who makes my brushes, and I did my collab with, they are also collabing with Nikki LaRose, pro makeup artist here on YouTube and out in life. They came out with her Volume 2 brush set. I'm really psyched to use some of these. In case you don't know her, here's Nikki. Check out her channel. She is awesome. And she has a brush that is modeled after this kind of little powder puffy thing. It's like a triangle for putting your powder on under your eyes. All right, so here's the brush set. How many brushes you get in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this is the one that I'm talking about that I really want to try. Oh, it's denser than I thought it would be. See how that's like a triangle shape? So that's supposed to be able to get your powder in there. And I really hope this powder works out because I love this kind of packaging for travel. It's got a little cap there so it's not always spilling into the cap. And it also has a little net here so that you don't have to dump it into the cap to use the powder. So let's go ahead. This is the Nikki LaRose N19 brush. Really kind of work it into the bristles. On first feel, I feel like this might be a little stiff for powder for me. I do like something a little fluffier, but not too fluffy for powder. So let's just go for it under this eye. I mean, it certainly is the right shape to get in there, that nice triangle. Yeah, it fits into your spaces very nicely, like under around the contour of your nose. And I do like to powder not just under my eyes, but also here to help disguise my enlarged pores. I'm gonna give Nikki's brush a hell yeah. This is nice. I really like this. This could be replacing my BK 108 as my favorite under eye powder brush. I mean, it does lay it on heavier than the 108, I feel, but look at the difference. I love mattifying my under eyes because I just feel like this shine here makes this eye look puffier. And of course, it accentuates the pores. And look at the difference in the pores. That powder is actually blurring. So far, pretty impressed with both of these. The Nikki set is sold out until sometime in October, but this is going up in October, and so this might be back in stock. All right, let's try the Rare Beauty blushes next. These look so pretty. I'm kind of drawn to Hope. This is the shade I love in the other Rare Beauty blushes that I like. So this is more of like a suede cream blush. Hopefully it's not quite as pigmented as the other Rare Beauty blushes, but I'm just gonna try to pop it on with my fingers. Then let's pick a Nikki brush out of here. When I saw that she was doing a fan brush, I was so excited. I don't know if there's any old timers here who've been with me forever. Do you remember that big fan brush that I used to use for blush always? And actually when I designed my brushes, I kind of wanted to do a fan brush, but I ended up going with the angled blush brush instead. I kind of liked it better because I felt like for my petite cheeks that, you know, maybe sometimes a fan brush was a little large. That's very pretty. Doesn't remove the makeup. Looks very skin-like and natural. Okay, for the eyeshadow, I really want to use this palette. I'm curious about the Marios. I'll use one of the Marios as a primer for one eye because I think I got the wrong shades to actually use them as eyeshadow. And then I want to use this also as primer because there are creams and powders in here. So I like it that it's like all in one. You can use the creams as eyeshadows, eyelid primer. You can use them to do contour. I was kind of hoping that there would be like a blush color in there, but there isn't. But these are really pretty. So I think I'm going to take one of the creams and I'm going to put it on this eyelid as like a base eyeshadow. And then we'll compare to see how it wears versus the Mario. This feels nice and creamy. Feels like it's blending nicely. And then let me just take this lighter shade of the Mario. This one's called Bisque. And we'll use it as a eyelid primer. I'm going to use the N24 from Nikki's set. Blend that across my movable lid. I feel like the Mario was a little bit harder to blend out. It was just a little chunky in some areas and I had to go back in and really blend it out more carefully. Okay, so I kind of wanted to use this darker shade for my contour today for the bronzer. This is the cooler palette, so this is definitely a very cool shade to use as a contour. Maybe put it on my eyelid, maybe up here. Let's see how it is as an eyeshadow. Can I actually put it on with my fingers? That's actually really nice looking as a base and it's blending really nicely. Let's see, let's check out this color of the Mario. I'll try to do this eye. That is chunky putting it on like that. All right, I'm gonna go in with my A502 again and try to blend that out. Oh, but it's blending pretty nicely. Oh, that looks really nice too. Oh my goodness, that looks very smooth, very nice, very creamy. And you know what? They're looking kind of the same now. This side is the Urban Decay palette, and this side is the Makeup by Mario 2 cream eyeshadows. I do want to use some of the powder eyeshadows. I have used this palette already, and these blend so nicely. So I'm going to go in with this powder shade right here on my A502, and I'm just going to put that deep into the crease and see how powder wears over both of these creamy bases. Next, I'm going to go in with my A505. This is a flat brush to go in with some of these shimmer colors. All right, how about I use the lighter on the inner corner, and then I'm going to go into the taupey one up here for the outer. And then I'm going to go for the peachy one right in the middle. I feel like I've used a lot of things from this palette, but one thing I did want to use is the black as eyeliner, and I want to use one of these tiny, tiny brushes in here. I'm just going to grab the N21 and the N22. Look how tiny those are. So if you like to use your eyeshadow for doing a wing or for eyeliner, if you have creamy eyeshadow, these brushes will be perfect for that. So I'm going to dip into the creamy black with the N21. I'm going to go along the edge of the lashes. Those are really nice and precise. I think I'll do the same for my lower liner, except I'll use this warm brownie color. Okay, what else do we have to look at here? We've got this Rare Beauty mascara. Actually, I think I've tried this mascara before because Rare Beauty only makes one mascara. This is just the mini version of it. So I'm going to use this on one eye, and I'm going to use a different mascara, not from Sephora, but it did come in PR, and I'm kind of interested in this brand, Swede. So we'll try that on the other eye. Wow, this brush is huge for this size cap. I guess they give you a full-size brush, even though it's the mini. Mascara brushes fascinate me. This one is just so huge, a little difficult to control it. So there's a mascara on that eye. I think it gives enough volume, but it really didn't offer any lengthening, because I feel like my lashes look really stumpy. So this is the Swede Cloud Mascara. Oh, completely different type of wand. This one has a very small, rubbery tooth wand. Okay, let's put this on and see what we get from the Swede. If I didn't mention it before, this video is not sponsored by anyone. One coat to one coat, I'd say the Rare Beauty is giving more volume. This one isn't giving volume or length, but it's a much silkier look, which is how I like my lashes to look. So here's the Swede, and here's the Rare Beauty. I only did one coat of the Rare Beauty. I'm going to do 2 coats of the Swede. Desperately seeking some lengthening and curling. Okay, so I guess we are down to the lippy, and I've got 2 of these Dior On Stage lipsticks. I got 2 kind of fairly nude colors, but I think I'm going to use the pinkier one today. I got them in the shade 120 and 222. So here are the 2 shades, 120 here, 222 here. And I just mashed the bullet. Okay. Ooh, the fragrance. Every time I use these, I am assaulted by the fragrance. I just really don't get why people put fragrance in lipstick at all, unless it's a food flavor fragrance. You know, I like things that are like foodish, but things like this that are just like perfumish, I don't get. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm not going to use a lip liner with this. I have tried this previously, and I got to say they don't need a lip liner. These are supposed to be shaping and smoothing lipsticks, so we will see if they shape and smooth. They're very soft and melty, and I got to say every time I put it on, I like somehow manage to like mangle the bullet. Love how they feel going on the lips. Very nice, very hydrating. Can't say that they really are that like smoothing. My lips still look kind of like my lips, which is to say not very smooth. And then the last product is from RMS. Can't get this at Sephora, but that's okay. This is their Back to Brow pencil, and oh, it's got a spoolie on this end. And how do you open it? Oh wow, look at the size of the cap on this thing. That's the cap. It's enormous. And it also comes with a little sharpener, which we don't need today. And this was also sent in PR, and this is the color Light. So let's put some of this on. I'm just gonna fill in my brows a little bit here. I mean, I gotta say the drugstore makeup brands have been killing it this year. Ooh, that is a nice shade. That was really easy to apply. It's really creamy. It's not super hard to work with. So finally, all the makeup. That took long enough, right? Looking at everything up close and comparing the sides, first of all, I think the foundation looks beautiful. It looks so skin-like. It is so much nicer, I think, than the Natasha Denona so far. It is still settled in the one wrinkle by the side of my mouth. Seems like everything settles in that one, and I feel like if you have more movable wrinkles that it might settle in them, but it's not really doing anything bad on my forehead or anywhere else on my face. So looking up a little bit further, I definitely feel like on the cheeks it is a blurring and smoothing foundation. I'm not feeling like my pores and texture are really accentuated, and that looks good. And on the forehead, I think it's really nice and smooth, and it looks great. So overall, really happy with the foundation. Looking at the concealer, it looks a little bit thicker and heavier than I'm used to with the Lancome Tinty Doll. That's my favorite, but it's not bad. The coverage is nice and solid. You can't see any of the discolorations through it. The eyeshadows, I'm noticing a big difference in like the wrinkliness of my eyelid between the Mario cream eyeshadow side and the Urban Decay side. I feel like even though I use cream eyeshadows on both sides, the Urban Decay eyelid just looks so much smoother than the Mario eyelid, which is really giving me quite a bit of eyelid wrinkliness. I think the eyeshadow look is really pretty. It's 1:30 now. I'll come back for a 4-hour and an 8-hour check-in. It's a rainy day today, so we don't get a sunshine check-in, but I will take a look at it in natural window light for you, and we'll do that next. Here's the Makeup by Mario SurrealSkin Natural Finish Foundation in natural window light. Gosh, I know I said it was going to be a rainy day and we wouldn't get an outdoor light test on the Mario, but the sun just popped out between the clouds. Hey guys, I'm back. It's time for a 4-hour check-in on all the makeup that we put on earlier. And can I just tell you, I got the biggest compliment from my mom. I walked the dog over there and she was home. So I stopped in for a quick visit and she was telling me something that she did. And all of a sudden she looks up and she goes, "Oh my God! You look so gorgeous today. Is that all new makeup?" I was like, yeah, it is all new makeup. Oh my gosh, thank you. So apparently the stuff looked good. I mean, my mom is in her 80s, but she's had the cataract surgery, and I swear her vision is better than mine. I need glasses and contacts, can't see anything without them. She can read even tiny type without glasses. I'm like, I need that cataract surgery now, today. Even though I don't have cataracts, I want it. She especially loved the eyeshadow. She was like, oh my gosh, tell me what palette that is. And she thought that the makeup looked good. She thought that my skin looked really great. So that was really lovely. So what do I think of it? Now that we're 4 hours in, I think that this still looks really, really good. It was supposed to be blurring. It was supposed to be long wearing. It was supposed to be comfortable and natural looking. And it was supposed to not get shiny, right? Were those the things, as I recall? And I feel like it's doing all of that. I mean, it doesn't look as smooth as it did when I first put this on 4 hours ago, but it's not looking like super textury. I did powder it, but it does have just the right amount of like natural lit from within glow without being super hard shine, without being too matte. I think it's just really, really pretty foundation. Concealer, not so happy with it 4 hours. I feel like my under eyes just look really cakey, really heavy, really creased, not the greatest looking concealer. The lipstick, of course, is completely worn off because I've had lunch. I'm gonna just put on a little bit of this Rare Beauty lip gloss. My lips do feel a little bit dry, so I'm gonna say that that lipstick is not the most hydrating lipstick in the world, but I love the smell of this. Really fruity and nice. The eyeshadows on both eyes are still looking really nice. I feel like the Makeup by Mario cream shadows, they just look a little heavy to me. And I think I prefer the cream shadows from the Urban Decay palette over the Makeup by Mario. All right, hey you guys, I'm back. It's time for a 9-hour check-in on all the makeup, last check-in of the day. And I gotta say from here, everything still looks really, really good. It's always the up close that I'm like, it doesn't look perfect. But for 9 hours, this actually looks pretty good. Definitely feeling about the same about everything as I did at the 4-hour check-in, which is that I like the foundation a lot. I don't love the concealer. Kind of like all 3 lippies that I tried today. And I really like the eyeshadow. And that blush, wow, that's probably the longest lasting staying power blush. And let's take a look at it up close. Up close, I do think the foundation is just like a little bit shinier in through here than I would probably like it to be, but it doesn't look bad and it doesn't really look super worn off anywhere. So the makeup by Mario, I like a lot better than the Natasha Denona High Glam, I gotta say. It's more of a skin-like look. It's more of a natural look. This one just was like a little bit heavy and it didn't wear as well and it didn't smooth my skin as well as the makeup by Mario does or did. I really enjoyed this one a lot more. You know, I ended up wearing this one for 2 days, kind of struggling with it. This one, day 1, just looks great, has looked great all day. And I really, really like this and I prefer it over the Natasha Denona. And I feel like the setting powder has really worked well to keep my under eyes nice and matte all day and to really control shine around my face and to help with the blurring aspect of the foundation. So this is a really good powder. I like it. I like the pink because it's a little bit brightening. The Makeup by Mario eyeshadows are okay for me. I don't love them. I feel like on my older skin, they just make my skin look a little bit older. They just sit a little bit heavier. I feel like the cream products in this palette are kinder and more forgiving on older skin, on older eyelids than these are. I can see these being really, really beautiful on, you know, younger eyelids. And for the price difference, these are $25 a piece, so $50 for 2 of these. And this is $56, a little bit more, but so much more in here, you know. This gives you the equivalent of both of these plus all of this. Really kind of digging this palette. I just think this is so good. I love that it gives you cream eyeshadows, it gives you powder eyeshadows, it gives you mattes and shimmers. It's very versatile and I think it would be great for travel especially. You know, it's great that you can use these creams as eyeshadows, as an eyeshadow base. You can also use them to contour your face and you can also use them as eyeliner. As far as the mascaras are concerned, they both actually look really good right now and neither of them are chipping or flaking, but this one is definitely just smudged a little bit below this eye. So I'm giving the win on the mascara to the Swede. Very pleasantly surprised with the RMS Brow Pencil. This is really nice, really easy to apply, very creamy, easy to work with, looks great on the brows. The color is fantastic. These lipsticks are pretty good. They're pretty expensive for what they are though. There are other lipsticks that are just as nice. It doesn't really do anything to like smooth my lips or, you know, plump my lips or, you know, any of the things that it says it's going to do. It's not the most long wearing either. It is fairly transfer proof, which is nice, but really kind of loving this Essence Super Peptide Lip Balm. This is really nice. Love the shade on it. Really easy to use. Feels great, very hydrating. And then the last thing from today's video was, of course, Nikki's brush set. I'm really happy that I got to try these. This brush is like a game changer brush. This one is so good for applying your setting powder under your eyes. I didn't really think I was gonna like it because it is a little bit stiffer than I like for setting powder, but it really, really worked well. And I love the shape on it. That is just like this nice triangle that fits right in there perfectly, so you really get your setting powder on right. If you don't use setting powder, I'm not sure, you know, what you would use this for, but it is really a great setting powder brush. Love the fan brush, one of my all-time favorite shapes for brushes. These 2 big fluffy ones, I'm not sure, you know, like that I would get much use out of them. I suppose I would use them for highlighter, just to apply a nice diffused highlighter with those, but I really like these tiny, tiny eyeshadow brushes. They're really great if you want to do some detailed work. And so the set is great. All right, so that's it for today's video, everybody. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, engage the algorithm, let it know that you're here and that you are enjoying watching my videos. Links for everything will be in the description box below the video or on the screen. So as always, I thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I hope you have a great day and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.